President Trump's illegal immigration crackdown is off to a fast start. Fox News has learned that in a 33-hour period between Tuesday morning and Wednesday night, ICE agents arrested over 460 migrants, many with long criminal histories. But these operations aren't just limited to Boston. They're taking place all over the country.
Well, there it is. You heard it. It's getting ready to get started. He's wasting no time. He hadn't been in there a hot 2 days. He said, hey, time to get that wagon going. Time to clear things out. And I think it's way past time. Let's continue.
Bill Malugin is getting an exclusive look at this massive, important operation in the sanctuary city of Boston. Live now to Bill.
Well, Emily, we've heard officials here in Boston and in Massachusetts say repeatedly they are not going to cooperate with ICE or mass deportation efforts by the Trump administration. And ICE says, well, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to cooperate with us. We're still going to go into your city and we're going to do the job. And we were with ICE Boston yesterday for about 10 hours as we got to watch them firsthand carry out immigration enforcement. Take a look.
Good morning, everyone.
It's a frigid 5 degrees in the pre-dawn hours just outside of Boston, where this team of elite ICE officers is briefing on their targets for the day.
We're going to be targeting some extremely violent offenders today.
Within moments, the officers are on the move, with eyes on their first target.
Looks like we got movement, target vehicle coming out.
I'm going to tell you, I've never seen a president get in and take action and things start moving this quickly. Never. I don't know. It sounds like Trump, he about business this time. I guess he looks at it, hey, you know, I can't be reelected again, so everything that I want to get done in the first term, I might want to go ahead on and get to it. Actually, I like somebody that basically say what they mean and mean what they say. That way I know how to deal with you. Let's continue.
They quickly take him into custody. He's an MS-13 gang member wanted in El Salvador for aggravated murder. And he has an Interpol red notice out for his arrest.
We are targeting very violent threats to our community.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Oh, my Lord. Y'all hear this guy? Oh, my God. Either he ain't going back. They better be careful. You know what I'm saying? What gets me is, how could these guys know that criminals or would-be criminals or whatnot are here all the time and do absolutely nothing? Makes absolutely no sense to me.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Now, hold up now. Now, how you going to take the Haitian guy, put his face all over the picture, but the other guys, you going to put a mask over them? I'm seeing this along with you guys. I haven't seen it before. But I'm like, what kind of mess is this? I mean, if we're going to show it, we need to show everybody, cover everybody's face up. Now I'm starting to see something that look a little not quite kosher.
Yo, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
And guys, a quick note on some of the blurring we did in that story. We decided to hide the faces of the ICE officers, obviously, because a lot of them work undercover. We also blurred some of the faces of the suspects if their cases are still pending, if they've been arrested but haven't been convicted yet. We also learned after we were done filming that ICE picked up another target on the other side of the city. This was a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested locally and is facing charges for raping a woman while holding a gun in her mouth, guys. Those are the kind of targets ICE is picking up out here. We'll send it back to you.
Well, like, these boys are serious. But like I said, I don't completely understand all these sanctuary cities and all of that, because my thing is, you know, if you come in here as a refugee, you know, something's going on in your country or whatnot, you know, some type of civil war, things like that, I understand. But what I don't understand is if you are given asylum, which means we're giving you somewhere to rest your head, so to speak, you know, because your own home is in turmoil, why would you come over here and be involved with anything? Makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm sorry.
Bill Malugin, thank you. Kaylee, an absolutely frightening collection of individuals. Took 33 hours to get 461 out of the way. Amazing what a little bit of leadership, a little bit of gumption, and the mandate from the American people can do.
We're seeing a surge of action to remove migrant criminals from the U.S. ICE says its agents arrested 308 illegal migrants on Tuesday alone, including a suspect wanted for attempted murder and a child molester.
We're going to concentrate on public safety threats.
This guy seems to be everywhere.
In sanctuary cities, where they don't let us take that public safety threat into custody and the safety and security of a jail, we have to go find him. If he's with others in the country illegally, ICE will not turn the blind eye to that. ICE is going to uphold the oath they took. They're going to enforce the laws enacted by Congress and signed by a president. And they're going to do that without apology.
Also, President Trump suspended the refugee resettlement program, and the State Department canceled all flights importing migrants into the U.S. The Department of Homeland Security granted officers across the federal government the same powers as an immigration officer to help carry out detainments and deportations.
What do you guys think about this? Please comment below. I'm dying to see what you all think about this particular situation. I mean, to me, this is just lightning fast. This is almost unbelievable. I mean, I've listened to politicians in office trying to get elected for years. You know, they say a whole lot, but usually, you know, when it's time to get something done, it takes a long time to do it. I've never seen anything quite like this. You know, maybe it means business. I don't know how this is going to affect American people in the long run, but I don't see it being anything detrimental because, you know, our country right now, people don't want to talk about it, but we're in crisis right now. We're in a situation where we're in a recession, but nobody wants to call it what it is. People losing their jobs, can't find jobs. And when they were working, a lot of them wasn't making enough to cover basic necessities or whatnot, and definitely can't buy a house right now. You know, the average person making $20, $25 an hour, he definitely cannot afford to go out here and have, you know, 10%, 2% down payment and spend, you know, $2,000, $3,000 a month on a house. No, it's just impossible. Here off of CNN, I took a few notes and whatnot. It said with refugee emissions also set to be suspended, which now they already are actually, there are few, if any, avenues available for people seeking refuge into the United States. It said that the Biden executive action last summer restricting asylum for people crossing the border illegally was condemned by the Democrats and the immigrant advocates. And the Biden administration officials argued that immigrants still had an option available to them through the border app known as the CBP-1 to schedule an appointment at a legal port of entry. And as we know, that particular option was shut down minutes after, you know, Trump got into office or whatnot, once he was inaugurated, leaving thousands of immigrants in limbo and resulting in a border that is largely sealed off to asylum seekers.
And troops south of the border are also helping out. In fact, Mexico's military is building a camp that will house thousands of migrants expected to be deported from Texas. It is just across the International Bridge in Eagle Pass, Texas. Camp already housing migrants whose refugee appointments were canceled. Also this morning, Immigration and Customs Enforcement changing the official term used for migrants. A memo from the ICE director states the agency will now use the term alien instead of non-citizen.
The reaction to the president's latest executive actions.
People have rights regardless of their status. Lauren, that is what an immigration activist just told me. But we are going to start precisely with reactions to that program that you just mentioned, which is no longer in existence. Margelis Tinoco breaks down in tears at the Mexican-U.S. border. Her asylum appointment scheduled for today was canceled. President Donald Trump shut down a mobile app known as the CBP-1, which enabled Tinoco and many immigrants who sought to enter the United States through legal ports of entry. The website now says all appointments are canceled.
Now, I will say this is the sad part about this whole thing. Now, these particular people were trying to do the right thing, so to speak. They want to get in legally. They were going through the correct channels from the way it seems or whatnot. But unfortunately, they kind of fell through the cracks at the wrong time. This is the sad part.
The reaction to the president's latest executive actions.
Just come over here just to rob and take down a lot of cities like New York and whatnot.
People have
where
rights
they going
regardless
in, looting
of their status. Lauren, that is what an immigration activist just told me. But we are going to start precisely with reactions to that program that you just mentioned, which is no longer in existence. Margelis Tinoco breaks down in tears at the Mexican-U.S. border. Her asylum appointment scheduled for today was canceled. President Donald Trump shut down a mobile app known as the CBP-1, which enabled Tinoco and many immigrants who sought to enter the United States through legal ports of entry. The website now says all appointments are canceled.
Now, I will say this is the sad part about this whole thing. Now, these particular people were trying to do the right thing, so to speak. They want to get in legally. They were going through the correct channels from the way it seems or whatnot. But unfortunately, they kind of fell through the cracks at the wrong time. This is the sad part of it. That the ones that snuck in and they just come over here just to rob and take down a lot of cities like New York and whatnot, where they going in and looting and taking stuff out of the store and then selling it right in front of the same store, right in the sidewalk, that kind of foolishness. And it's just too much. So this part of the situation, I think, it's just sad.
We have 31,000 people who remain in Mexico, had a way for people to sign up, walk through a line, be interviewed.
We asked immigration attorney Willie Allen what options exist for Tinoco and many more like her.
I'm not sure what's going to be the next approach. I am concerned.
Not surprised at all.
Jepsi Meletus, an immigration activist in South Florida, tells me her organization and many others began preparing for the executive orders announced today.
It's also important that our family members take every measure, every action that's possible to protect their assets, their children, and their interests.
She tells me they will be holding workshops for a wide variety of immigrants.
Unfortunate people that have already gotten into the process, that he's going to cut that off now. I don't think that's fair. If they were already, they should be grandfathered in. If they were already in the process of doing some kind of immigration legally.
Mixed reactions on Monday at this Cuban landmark where many of the president's supporters gathered.
We cannot have open border and everybody come in and they check him in and they have a pass and they send him to Chicago or New York.
And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country.
The first part of his inaugural address was dedicated to border security.
We will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
It's a great day for America. He said exactly what the American people voted for.
I think the word after the speech today for the immigrants is fear.
I can understand that. I can only imagine, if it was my family, trying to get out of, somewhere. I don't know if it's war torn or he just had problems trying to earn a living or the drug cartels had taken over. I'm not for sure as far as what the situation was, but I do sympathize, on the people that tried to, go through the system the right way and get here legally or whatnot. But unfortunately, in situations like that, it's almost like being at war, the good guys don't always make it through. And it's sad. I feel for the families and whatnot that's stuck on the border that try to do the right thing. I don't know what else to say on that, but let's go ahead and continue.
So there you have it. Besides the CBP-1, also the humanitarian parole program, which enabled hundreds of thousands of immigrants from Nicaragua, Venezuela, Cuba, and Haiti, is also no longer valid, and those people are in a limbo. But President Trump says that his priority first are going to be those with criminal records and deportation letters. We are live in Little Havana. Back to you, Lauren.
And within hours of his presidency, the Trump administration.
As we've just seen, this right here is the hard side of politics, when sometimes you just got to kind of just cut the switch off. You can't just, let the water continue to trickle. Sometimes you have to just cut it off, try to reset, and then maybe later on, something can be reinstated for the people that really need to get over here and are not criminals just coming over here to, feed their family and whatnot. Something may come across the board later, but I kind of agree with what's going on right now, because sometimes you just can't drag it. Sometimes you just gotta, it's almost like having gangrene. You can sit there and keep treating it or whatnot, but, once, you get to a situation where the skin has started to eat away and no blood flow and the limb is turning black or whatnot, sometimes it's time to cut it off. And I think that's kind of what's going on here, because the American people are the ones that's really suffering from this. And I think until we kind of stop the leakage, because it's almost like a leaking pipe, with everybody coming in, it's like a pipe that's got a whole lot of holes. You got to fix all of those small leaks before you can even think about what's going on as far as the rest of it. So I feel just something that needed to be done. But it definitely should be interesting to see how this thing folds out, as the future goes on. Gonna wrap it up right here. See you at the next one.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy.